criar a estrutura básica um documento simples, o VS Code, por assim dizer, né, o que está lá no topo, a tag fazer é a tag RI.
E aí, pessoal, sejam bem-vindos para mais uma live estudando programação, né? Dia 65, tô estudando HTML hoje. E só tem algumas aulas. Já instalei e configurei a Visual Studio Code, né? Já fiz umas linhas de código aqui. Que no caso é dessa aula. Fiz hoje de tarde, mas aí só abri live agora porque eu tava na faculdade. É isso.
Read, se escreve assim, ó, read. Read quer dizer cabeça. Tudo que eu colocar dentro da tag read, da abertura e do fechamento aqui da tag read, não vai ser mostrado para o usuário. Isso aqui só vai ser lido pelo navegador, pelo programa que está interpretando o meu site. Dentro da tag read a gente pode colocar várias coisas, mas para essa nossa aula que a gente está fazendo uma estrutura básica, a gente pode colocar a tag title ou título. Qual vai ser o título do meu site? Então eu vou colocar aqui meu primeiro site. Observe que a gente sempre tem uma abertura de uma tag e o fechamento dela. Abertura, fechamento, né? Então, dentro da abertura e do fechamento, a gente vai colocar o conteúdo que a gente quer. Então, o meu primeiro site. Depois da tag read, aqui que é o cabeçalho, por assim dizer, né? O que está lá no topo, a gente tem uma tag que se chama body. Se escreve assim, ó, body, com Y, né? Tem uns que até brincam que é o body, mas é body, né? Ou corpo em inglês. Dentro dessa tag body é onde a gente vai colocar o conteúdo que realmente vai aparecer para os usuários que vão estar acessando o meu site, né? Eu vou fazer aqui um título 1, vou botar assim, H1, você pode fazer no seu também. Meu primeiro site. E depois desse H1, pulando uma linha, eu vou dar uma tag P para meu primeiro parágrafo. A gente vai ver mais a fundo aqui cabeçalhos e parágrafos numa aula para frente, mas só para você ver como funciona, eu vou fazer dessa forma. Então, dentro da tag body é onde a gente coloca o conteúdo que realmente vai ser mostrado para o nosso usuário. Quando eu der um Ctrl S, olha só que legal. Você viu que pulou uma linha que ajeitou o nosso código? Isso aqui é outro recurso que a gente colocou aqui no VS Code, que é para ele organizar o nosso código depois que a gente dá um Ctrl S. Aliás, para você salvar o seu código, você vai lá no seu teclado e vai teclar a tecla Ctrl, né? No meu teclado, na verdade, fica aqui no cantinho, nesse virtual tá FN, mas geralmente fica no cantinho aqui. Ctrl e a tecla S. Então, Ctrl S, e aí eu vou salvar esse meu documento. Você vê que o documento está salvo ou não, porque quando você digita, ó, digitei qualquer coisa aqui. Repara que tem uma bolinha aqui em cima, tá vendo? Uma bolinha branca. Isso quer dizer que o meu documento não está salvo. Quando essa bolinha branca está assim, é que não está salvo o meu documento. Aí eu preciso dar um Ctrl S e aí ó, você vê que sumiu aquela minha bolinha branca. Agora meu documento foi salvo, certo? Então se eu apagar aqui, ó, voltou a bolinha branca lá, não está salvo esse meu documento. Quando eu dou um Ctrl S, ele salva. E ainda outra maneira da gente salvar é vindo aqui em File ou File e Save, que é para salvar. Essa é outra maneira da gente salvar o nosso documento. Nunca se esqueça, depois de você ir fazendo alguma alteração, de dar um Ctrl S. Faz isso já quase como que automaticamente, tá? Faz disso um padrão na tua maneira de codificar. Digitou alguma coisa, colocou uma tag, fez um pouco de conteúdo aqui, já dá um Ctrl S para salvar. Porque às vezes você esquece de salvar e aí você vai olhar o site, parece que não está funcionando, mas é que na verdade você não salvou o seu documento, ok? Agora, para a gente ver esse nosso site rodando, como a gente tem aquela extensão do Live Server, que é para rodar o nosso site em tempo real, à medida que a gente vai modificando as coisas aqui, você pode vir aqui embaixo, nesse botão aqui, ó, Go to Live, tá vendo? Você pode clicar aqui nesse botão, Go to Live, ir para ao vivo, ou clicar no documento com o botão direito, e você pode dar esse Open with Live Server. Você pode dar essa opção aqui também. Eu vou clicar aqui por baixo em Go to Live. Quando você clicar a primeira vez aqui nesse Go to Live, pessoal, Go Live, na verdade não tem o to, né? Go Live. Quando você clicar nesse Go Live a primeira vez, ele vai pedir a permissão do firewall do Windows para poder o servidor rodar o nosso site. Você dá a permissão, tá? Coloca a opção aí permitir. Como eu já tenho, aqui eu já fiz esse processo de permissão aqui nos testes que eu estava fazendo, então não vai aparecer para mim novamente, só faz uma vez. Se aparecer para você aí a permissão do firewall, você permite, ok? E quando eu clico aqui em Go Live, olha o que vai acontecer. Olha que show de bola, pessoal. Meu primeiro site. Você vê que está aqui a nossa primeira página. Que emoção, né, pessoal? Nosso primeiro site aqui renderizado na tela do navegador. Nossas primeiras frases aqui, né? Agora, olha que legal. Com esse live server ativado, se eu der um restaurar, clicando aqui no quadradinho, ó, eu posso fazer assim, ó. Eu posso arrastar aqui o meu navegador para cá e posso... Deixa eu diminuir ele um pouco mais aqui. Posso vir aqui no meu VS Code, também restaurar ele. E colocar ele aqui no canto. Ó. Se eu ajeitar ele aqui, ó, posso aumentar ele aqui. Posso puxar ele aqui mais para o canto. E eu...
One defines a... Hey, how's it going, everybody? In this series, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started working with HTML. Then a little bit later on, we'll cover CSS. So why don't you go ahead? All right, everybody. Now what we're going to do is install the live server extension. Go to extensions, look up live server, and install. Basically, what this does is that when you update your HTML file, if you have a web browser open, it's going to update automatically. It'll save you some time. All right, everybody. Now what we're going to do is fill in our HTML file. At the top, what we'll do is add a set of angle brackets, then type this, ! doc type HTML. This is a declaration that this document is an HTML5 document, which is the most recent version. Then we'll create a pair of HTML tags. We'll need an opening HTML tag and an ending HTML tag. You can tell that this is an ending tag because it has a /. Most tags are in groups of pairs. That's if there's typically content between them. This pair of HTML tags represents the root element of an HTML page. Between these two tags, we will add a pair of head tags. The head element contains information about your web page, such as a title. Let's add a title to our web page. Title. Add a closing tag. Let's set the title of our web page to be My First Website. Now what we'll do, right-click on your HTML file, then open with Live Server. Here's our web page. The title says My First Website. Just to make this easier on us, I'm going to place our web page side by side with VS Code. When we save any changes, we can see that update automatically. The head element contains information about your web page, whereas in the body, let's add a pair of body tags after the pair of head tags. The body element contains visible content in your web page. Between our body tags, let's add a pair of H1 header tags. H1 defines a large heading. I'll add some text. This is an H1 heading. I'm going to save. That should update my HTML document automatically. This is an H1 heading. Let's try H2. Add a pair of H2 header tags. This is an H2 heading. Let's do H3. H3. This is an H3 heading. H4. This is an H4 heading. Then we have H5. This is an H5 heading. Typically, header tags are used for titles or other large text. Let's discuss paragraph tags. If you have a paragraph of text, you can place that within a pair of P tags. Some text goes here. If you need some sample text to work with, if you're using VS Code, you can type lorem, then tab. This will create some garbage text for you. I think it's supposed to resemble Latin. If I were to copy everything within the set of paragraph tags, then save it, paragraphs are separated with a line break. Otherwise, if you do need a line break, you can type BR, meaning line break. So this is a self-closing tag. Pairs of tags usually have some sort of content between them. With the line break, that's a self-closing tag. We don't need a closing tag. So add as many line breaks as you need, wherever you need them. So that's a line break. There's also horizontal rule, which is HR. Think human resources, HR. That would add a horizontal line across your page. That might look pretty good after a title. Paragraph tags don't care about any spaces or new lines. I'm going to put all of this on separate lines, just so it's more legible. So when I save, nothing appears to happen. Even if I were to add some line breaks between these sentences, nothing appears to change. You could always change your paragraph tags to PRE, meaning pre-formatted, as in pre-formatted text. That would retain any line breaks or spaces within these tags. It's up to you if you prefer the P tags or the pre tags. Now, the last thing I'm going to discuss are comments. Comments aren't displayed as output. They're usually used as notes for yourself or for other developers. You would type a left angle bracket, exclamation point, 2 dashes. Wherever your comment ends, you would type 2 dashes, right angle bracket. This is a comment. So when I save, nothing appears to happen. Comments are used for yourself or for other developers that are looking over this document. All right, everybody. Well, at this time, let's go over an exercise just so that we have a solid foundation and really remember everything. It'd be good practice for us. We're going to create a separate HTML file that displays the lyrics of a song you like. So let's create a new HTML file. Let's name this file lyrics.html. Again, we'll need to add this declaration, doc type HTML. That's a declaration that this document is an HTML5 document. Then we'll need a pair of HTML tags. We'll need a head element and a body. Let's add a title to the head of our document. Title. Let's set the title to be My Song Lyrics. Then we will open this HTML file with Live Server. My Song Lyrics. Pick a song that you like. Within our body tags, let's add an H1 element. This will be the title. Copy the name of your song. Place it within this pair of tags. So that's the title. Add song by the name of the band or artist. I'll use H3 header tags. That's slightly smaller than H1. You know, maybe H4. I think that'd be better. I'll add a horizontal rule. That's HR. I'll add a pair of P tags. Take all of these lyrics, copy them, and paste them within the pair of P tags. I'd like to retain the spacing. Let's change the P tags to PRE tags for pre-formatted text. That's much better. Let's add one line break after our horizontal rule. One last thing I'm going to do within the pre-tags, I'm going to add some blank lines between some of these verses. There we go. That's pretty cool. I think we have the hang of basic HTML now. In the next topic, we'll discuss hyperlinks. Hey, if you're enjoying this series so far, please be sure to support me by smashing that like button, leave a random comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro. Hey everybody. In today's topic, I'm going to show you how we can create hyperlinks. A hyperlink is a digital reference to data that a user can follow by clicking or tapping a button or link. To create a hyperlink, we will need a pair of A tags. A means anchor. Then we'll sandwich some text between these two tags, such as click me. We're missing one thing. What we'll need within the opening A tag is an attribute, an href attribute. An attribute is typically a name-value pair that modifies the behavior of an element. Href means hypertext reference. We're referencing something. Within the set of quotes, we can list a web page or a file to link to. Let's begin by linking an external website like Google. Let's paste the URL within the href attribute, save. Then when I click on this link, it takes me to Google, or some other website of your choosing based on what's within the set of quotes. There are more attributes you can add as well. They're optional. Another is target. Target equals, if you set target to be _blank, this link will open this URL in either a new tab or a new window, depending on your settings. Google has opened in a new tab for me. Another attribute is title. The title attribute displays additional information about the element as a tooltip. I'll add a message. Goes to Google. When I hover over this link, we have a tooltip that states goes to Google. That's an additional option too. This URL is an absolute URL. You can also list a relative URL. So based on the last video, we have an HTML file of song lyrics. Within our index file, we will link to our lyrics file. So let's create another hyperlink. We'll need a pair of A tags, meaning anchor. We'll need some text. Song, lyrics is good. Then we'll need an href attribute. Href equals, these two files are right next to each other. For a relative file path, all we need is the file name. Lyrics.html. I'm going to add a line break real quick. BR meaning line break. Then when I click on this link, it takes me to my other HTML file. You could add these additional attributes if you would like. One last link. I'll create a line break. We'll create a link that begins the process of emailing someone. We'll need a pair of A tags. The text will be email me. Href attribute will be set to, now to send an email, type mail to, then an email address. I'll make up one. test@fake.com. When I click on this link, we begin the process of sending an email to this email address. However, I'm not signed in, so this is as far as it'll take me currently. Okay, now for an exercise. Let's go to our lyrics HTML file. Open with live server. Let me zoom out. Based on the last project, you should have a web page with some song lyrics that you like. We'll create a hyperlink to the original video. Let's do that after the artist. That would be right here, but before the horizontal rule. We'll create a pair of A tags. I'll add some text. Original video. Then you'll need to find the URL for the original video for your song. All right. I will set the href attribute to be that URL, the URL for a YouTube video. So when I click on the link, it now takes me to YouTube. All right, everybody, that's a hyperlink. It's a digital reference to data that a user can follow by clicking or tapping a button or link. And those are hyperlinks in HTML. Hey everybody, in today's topic, I'm going to show you how we can add images to a web page using HTML. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, everybody, here's how to add an image to a web page. But you'll need an image to work with. I have a picture of a dog. I'll add that to my website folder. Next to my index file, I have a picture of a dog. To add an image, we'll use a self-closing image tag, then set the source equal to be the name of your image, including the extension. Mine is dog, and this is a PNG file. So this picture is fairly large. You can change the dimensions with the height or width attributes. I'll set the height to be 200 pixels. Now the width will adjust automatically. However, you could change that too if you wanted. If I need this image to be a perfect square, I will also set the width to be 200. However, this does compress the image. Depending on the dimensions of your original picture, you may need to change the height and/or width. I'll set the height to be 200 though. Then keep the width the same. It'll adjust automatically. Now, for some reason, if your image isn't displaying, let's say that I get the file extension wrong. I'll say that this is a JPEG. Well, the image won't display. You can add alternative text with the alt attribute. The alternative text, you could say anything. This is a picture of a dog. If this image doesn't display, you at least display the alternative text. Now, the nice thing about the alt attribute is that if somebody is visually impaired and they're using a screen reader, the screen reader will read this alt description. Just to test my screen reader, I'm going to add some text before and after this image as well. Let's add an h1 header tag. This is a cute dog. Then I'll add some text after. I'll use an h3 header tag. Woof woof. I'll use my screen reader. This is an extension on Chrome you can download.
My first website. This is a cute dog. This is a picture of a dog. Woof woof.
The screen reader read the alternative text for this image. So it is good practice, if you include an image, to write a brief description of the image. Another cool thing you can do with images is that you can turn them into hyperlinks. I will surround our image element with a pair of A tags, A meaning anchor. Then I will set the href attribute equal to a URL. I'll find the Wikipedia page for dogs. Alright, I'll copy this URL. Then I will set the href attribute to be this URL. When I click on this image, it takes me to the Wikipedia page for dogs. So yeah, you can turn an image into a hyperlink. Another cool thing you can do too is that you can include GIFs in your web page. This is my GIF that I'll include. I'll add that to my website folder. I'll include a self-closing image tag, set the source equal to be the name of my image. Then be sure to get the file extension right. This is a GIF. I'll set the height attribute to be maybe 200 as well. Height equals 200. Then I'll add some alternative text. Alt attribute will be smiling dog GIF. Now with a website, you may have all of your images within a separate folder, like this. I'll go to New, Folder. I'll create a folder named Images. Then I will move my images to the Images folder. So my images are no longer being displayed. We have our alternative text. This is a picture of a dog and smiling dog GIF. With your source attribute, we're using a relative file path. We need to navigate to the Images folder, then find the appropriate image files. I'm going to precede these images with the name of the folder. They are found within the Images folder. You may also need another /. For me, either work. Let's move on to an exercise. In the last few videos, we were working on a web page for song lyrics. Let's include some album art. For my song that I picked, I have a picture of the original album art that this song is found from. I will move that to my website folder. Then I will move it to the Images folder within my website folder. I need a self-closing image tag, set the source equal to be. We need to navigate to the Images folder. I will list that first. Images / the name of the file. For me, it's album cover.jpg. Then I'll change the dimensions. I will set the height equal to be 200. I'll add some alternative text. Alt equals album art cover. Then a line break. Maybe 2. Then I'll turn this into a hyperlink as well. I will surround our image with a pair of A tags. I will set the href attribute to be the original YouTube video where you can find this song. So href equals the YouTube video that I linked before. So this should take me to YouTube. There we are. Alright everybody, well, that's how to include an image on a web page using HTML. Hey, how's it going everybody? In today's video, I'm going to show you how we can include audio in a web page using HTML. You'll need some audio files to work with. One place you can download some MP3 files is the YouTube audio library. Find some songs that you like, and then you can download them. Let's download 3 for this lesson. Once you have your 3 songs, let's move them to our website folder. Alright, we are ready to begin. So to include some audio, we need a pair of audio tags. Then between the audio tags, let's include a source element. With the source element, there is a source attribute. We will set the source attribute to equal the name of an MP3 file or other audio file. So let me copy the name. Be sure to get the file extension. And then I will paste that file, the file name. Nothing appears to happen because we don't have any controls, and the song doesn't play right away too. So to add some controls, within the opening audio tag, type controls. And that's it. So we can now play our song. Or you can mute it, fast forward it, rewind it, set the playback speed, whatever. You can set your audio file to autoplay, but people find that annoying. So you should probably not do that. If we do want our song to autoplay, we should at least mute it using the muted attribute. So our song is playing, but it's muted until we unmute it. We can even have our song loop by using the loop attribute. So let me play this. Turn up the volume a little bit, fast forward to near the end, and let's see if it loops. And it does. Cool. Now, in case your web browser doesn't support a certain audio type, you can add fallbacks. So let's say that we also have a WAV version of our audio file. I can include that as a fallback right underneath. But we should also specify the type, just to let the web browser know that this is an MP3 file and that this is a WAV file. I'll include the type attribute. I will type audio/MPEG. I will also let the web browser know that this is a WAV file, audio/WAV. So just in case our web browser doesn't support MP3 files, I'm pretty sure that they all do nowadays, we will resort to our WAV file if we have a backup of the same audio file in WAV format. Let's include our 2 other audio files. So again, we need a pair of audio tags. Within the pair of audio tags, we will need a source tag, a source element, and I will set the source to equal the name of an audio file. So let's copy the name of our second audio file, including the extension, add some controls, and there's our second song. Let me pause the first one. Let's add the last one. So here's the name of my last song. Be sure to get the file extension. We have our controls. And here's my third song.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Hey, for fun, let's add the name of each of these songs right before the controls. I'll use a pair of paragraph tags. Then I will copy the name of the song and sandwich the name between the paragraph tags. So that's the name of my first song. Let's do this again with the second song. And the third. So here are my 3 songs. Just to make everything a little more organized, I'm going to create a music folder within my website folder to hold all of my audio files. I will create a new folder. I will name this music. I'll place all of my audio files within the music folder.
Eu achava que era, mas... Igual Python, né? Eu achava que Python também era chato,
So we no longer know where the location of those audio files are, because we're using a relative file path. I'm going to set the source attribute to be music
Até
slash
se
the name of the file.
eu tô achando fácil lá no Pô, fácil não. Da hora
We
na
can locate those
faculdade.
files now. So that's our first song, our second song, and our third song. That's how to include audio files in a web page using HTML. Hey, if you're enjoying the series, let me know by smashing that like button, leave a random comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how we can include a video in your web page using HTML. Alright, let's get started, everybody. In this example, you'll need a video file of one of a few formats. You can use either an MP4 file, WebM, or Vorbis OGG. I just so happen to have an MP4 file of me playing that new Zelda game, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is just some sample footage. Once you have your video file, you're going to take it and place it right next to your index file within your website folder. To include a video, you'll need a pair of video tags. Within the opening video tag, we can set a source attribute to be either the relative file path or the absolute file path of that video. These two files are right next to each other. I only need the file name. My file is zelda.mp4. And there's my video, but it's humongous. We can change the height and or the width. Let's change the width to be 500 pixels. That's a good size. The height will adjust accordingly, or vice versa. If I were to change the height to be 500, then the width is going to adjust accordingly. But let's keep it as 500. Here's our video, but there's no way to play it. We'll need to add a set of controls with the controls attribute. Now we can play the video. To have this video autoplay when the page loads, you can set the autoplay property. It should play automatically. But if it is set to autoplay, you should at least mute it, because people can find it annoying, especially if this video is loud. Let's add the muted attribute. So now it autoplays, and it's muted. To have this video loop when it's done, let me fast forward to the end. I can add the loop attribute. Now it should loop when it reaches the end. Right about here. Yeah, and it's back to the beginning again. Just in case somebody's web browser doesn't support this video file, you can add backups. I also happen to have a WebM version of the same video. I'll place it within my website folder. Then within the pair of video tags, we will add a source element. Take our source attribute, cut it, then paste it within the source element. You can keep all the attributes within the opening video tag. You should also tell the web browser what type of video file this is. Video/MP4. Now to include a backup, we just need to use the source element again. As a backup, in case a web browser can't play my MP4 file, we'll instead use the WebM version. Zelda.webm. The type is WebM. Alright, so let me delete the MP4 version to test it. Let's save and reload everything. And now my WebM version is playing. You can't really tell the difference. You also have the capability of turning this video into a hyperlink. I will surround my video element with a pair of A tags. Then I will set the href attribute to some URL. I'll set it to be the Wikipedia page for Zelda. Feel free to pick any page of your choosing. With the href attribute, I will paste that URL. Now when I click on this video, it should bring me to the Legend of Zelda Wikipedia page. To open this link, I get it, link, because it's Legend of Zelda. Anyways, to open this link in a new tab, I can set the target attribute to be _blank. Then it should open in a new tab, which it does. Alright everybody, so that's how to include a video in your web page using HTML. Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how we can create a favicon for your web page. To create a favicon, you'll need an image to work with. Here's mine. I would recommend an image that's at least 96 by 96 pixels in width and height. Once you have your image, we'll save the image to our website folder. I'll right-click, save image as, find my website folder. Let's rename this image favicon. For a favicon, most modern web browsers accept ICO, PNG, GIF, JPEG, and SVG image files. So let's save our image. My image is now within my website folder. If you do need to make any graphical changes to your image, you can always use a program like Paint. This is a built-in program with most Windows operating systems. I'm pretty sure Mac and Linux have something like it too. If I do need to change the dimensions on my image, I can open it. Let's find that image. It's within my website folder. And here it is. If you do need to change the size of your image, you can go to Resize. You can either resize or skew your image. My image is at least 96 pixels. It's 176 for both the width and the height. Then you'll want to save your image afterwards to that website folder. Once you have your image, we're going to create a link tag. The link is self-closing. The link tag specifies the relationship between this document and an external source. The relationship attribute will be icon, because, well, we're adding an icon to our webpage. The type will equal image slash the type of your file. So I have a JPEG, I'll list JPG. Then we need an href attribute. That will be the relative file location. My image is within my website folder. I just have to list the file name. favicon.jpg. Let's take a look, refresh everything. And here is my favicon. Typically with a web page, I like to place all of my images within one folder. Within my website folder, I'll create a new folder named Images, and I'll place my favicon within my Images folder. So we no longer can locate that favicon. I need to change the relative file path of the favicon, because it's now within a separate folder. Preceding the name of my file, I will list the folder that it's in, images/favicon. And there it is again. Alright everybody, that's how to create a favicon for your web page using HTML. Hey everybody, today I will explain text formatting in HTML. Text formatting gives text special emphasis. We can create bold text, italic text, underlined text, so on and so forth. Let's begin. Let's create a pair of paragraph tags. And between this first set of paragraph tags, let's type, "This is normal text." Let's copy this line of markup and then paste it like 10 times. Okay, I lost count. Whatever text you would like to add emphasis to, you surround that with a pair of tags, but there's different pairs of tags that have different effects. For a bold effect, we use a pair of B tags. Let's surround normal in the second line with B. Then change normal to the word bold. This is bold text. I is for italic. So let's surround the next line with I. This is italic text. Then underlined is U. This is underlined text. Deleted text, we would type DEL. This is deleted text. Big, BIG. This is big text. So this text is a little bit bigger than the other text surrounding it. Then there's small. This is small text. Subscript. Type sub. This is subscript text. I misspelled that. There. The subscript text is smaller and it's just underneath the other text surrounding it. Then there's superscript. Type SUP like you're saying sup, like what's up. This is superscript text. Then you have monospaced, which is TT. This is monospaced text. Oops, I forgot to close it. This is a good example of why you should add closing tags, because the markup will cascade through the rest of your document, so be sure to close any opening tags. All right, then the last one is mark. Mark creates a highlight effect. Kind of like you're taking a highlighter and highlighting some text. You can use CSS to change the color too. I haven't really discussed CSS yet, but to add a little bit of inline CSS within the opening mark tag, take the style attribute, set that equal to, take the background dash color, colon, then we can pick a color. How about light green? I think that would look good. And our highlight effect is now light green, or pick some other color of your choosing. We'll discuss colors more when we reach CSS. All right, everybody, so that is text formatting. Text formatting gives text special emphasis. You can create text that is bold, italic, underlined, deleted, big, small, subscript, superscript, monospace, and highlighted text. And well, that is text formatting in HTML. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today I need to explain the span and div tags in HTML. The span tag is an inline container to group elements for styling purposes. The div tag, it's very similar, except it's a block container to group elements for styling purposes. Here's an example. Let's create two H1 titles. This is a span title. Then close it. Let's copy this line of markup, then paste it. The second line will be this is a div title. I'm going to enclose my first sentence with a pair of span tags. So we need an opening span tag and a closing span tag somewhere. All right, with this set of span tags, we are enclosing this text within a container. It's an inline container. We can apply some CSS style.
Bom, pessoal, vou acabar a live. E vou dormir. Acho que na terça-feira. Não. Amanhã. Amanhã, quando chegar do trabalho, eu vou praticar tudo que eu vi aqui. Ai. É isso. Falou.